A man once thought he could outsmart the devil. He wanted power, wealth, and respect, but he hated hard work. In his pride, he believed he could bargain with darkness and escape the consequences. But the end of his story brought him nothing but shame and destruction. This is the tragic tale of Pastor Emmanuel. Emmanuel was once very poor, not because life hated him, but because he hated hard work. He dreamed of cars, houses, and wealth, but he never lifted a finger. Every day he sighed, "If only that car was mine. If only I lived in that mansion," but he never worked for his dreams. One night, tired of hunger, Emmanuel said, "What else can I do to be wealthy?" Then a thought entered his heart. "Let me open a church." He borrowed a Bible, wore his only old suit, and declared himself a pastor. But the chairs stayed empty, and hunger dealt with him. Desperate, Emmanuel sought the devil. In a dark covenant, the devil told him, "You will heal the sick and grow rich, but in return, you shall never have a child. Your wife will remain barren forever." Emmanuel agreed without hesitation. Years later, his church exploded. The blind saw, the lame walked, barren women conceived. Money flowed in like water. Emmanuel bought cars, clothes, and mansions. He married a beautiful and innocent woman who knows nothing about his source. But his wife's womb remained closed. Every night, his wife knelt in her room, crying to heaven, "Oh God, why am I barren? Take away my shame." But no answer came. Then the people start asking questions. Why is it that the same pastor who prayed for others and gave birth can't make his own wife give birth? Emmanuel silenced the congregation, saying, "God does what he pleases." Emmanuel's wife grew tired of crying, and she secretly sought out another pastor. That pastor prayed for her, then shook his head sadly. "Woman, your barrenness. It is only your husband that knows the reason. Go back and ask him." She returned home, trembling, and told Emmanuel what the pastor said. Emmanuel's eyes grew red with rage. He beat her mercilessly, blow after blow, as she screamed and begged for mercy. Then he shouted, "Never in your life go to anyone again. If you need answers, ask me, your husband, nobody else." In his congregation were two deacons who were also neighbors. The Adeyemi family were civil servants, comfortable, not rich, but stable. Husband and wife earned monthly salaries, but they were loyal slaves to the church. Every little money they had, they gave away as tithes, offerings, and special seeds. Every morning, Deacon Adeyemi and his wife told their 3 children, "Forget work, forget struggle. Just serve God in the church, and he will bless you and favor you." Their children obeyed blindly. The eldest daughter, Mojisola, and her siblings swept the church, cleaned Pastor Emmanuel's office, polished his shoes, and carried his Bible proudly. They believed they were serving God. Then there was Deacon Emeka's family. They were poor, very poor, but hard-working. Deacon Emeka was a bricklayer, his hands hard with calluses. His wife, Deaconess Emeka, sold vegetables in the market, struggling to feed their 3 children, Chika, Tunda, and Ada. Often, their pot was empty and their clothes torn. Yet Deacon Emeka always told his children, "Hard work pays. In everything you do, you must work before you pray. If you are lazy, there is nothing for God to bless. Get up, work hard, and then pray. That is the secret." Though poor, the Emeka children listened. They helped their father at construction sites, helped their mother in the market, and prayed together each night. So, side by side, lived 2 deacons, Adeyemi, the blind follower of Emmanuel's church, and Emeka, the struggler who taught his children balance. Work first, then pray. One evening, Mojisola, Deacon Adeyemi's first daughter, passed by Pastor Emmanuel's office. She heard a woman's voice trembling inside. It was Emmanuel's wife, crying bitterly. "Did you use my womb for your wealth? There are rumors everywhere, and I want you to tell me the truth as your wife." Enraged, Pastor Emmanuel snapped. Instead of answering, he struck his wife across the face. His voice thundered with anger. That night, Mojisola ran home. "Papa, Mama, I saw Pastor Emmanuel beating his wife. She said he is the reason for her barrenness." But Deacon Adeyemi waved her off. "Women are weak vessels. Don't speak against the man of God." The next day, Mojisola returned to complete her work, not knowing that Emmanuel had seen her when running yesterday. Emmanuel cornered her. "What did you see yesterday?" she whispered. "Nothing, sir." But he grabbed her, tore her shirt, and forced himself on her. Afterward, he hissed, "If you tell anyone, you will die." Mojisola cried bitterly that night. Nobody would believe her. Soon, her younger sister Bissy also fell victim. Emmanuel's sin in the shadows grew deeper. Meanwhile, Emmanuel's wife didn't stop seeking answers. A prophet told her, "You can conceive, but not for your husband. He is the reason you are barren, desperate for proof." She begged Deacon Adeyemi, "If I sleep with another man, I will conceive. Help me confirm it." At first, Adeyemi resisted. "It is a sin." But temptation won. Soon, Emmanuel's wife was pregnant. When Emmanuel discovered it, he ran to the devil. "How can my wife be pregnant?" The devil sneered. "You broke the deal, you can't control your own wife, and you shall face the consequences. The child is not yours. The man is your own, Deacon Adeyemi." Soon after, Adeyemi's wife noticed her daughter, Mojisola, vomiting. She confronted her, and the girl confessed she was pregnant with Pastor Emmanuel. Her sister, too, was carrying his child. The next Sunday, while service was in full swing, Deacon Adeyemi's wife stormed into the church with her two daughters. She did not wait for permission. She marched straight to the altar, her eyes blazing, her voice trembling but fierce. "Brethren," she cried, "this man you call pastor has defiled my daughters. Both of them carry his shame in their wombs." The church erupted. Gasps and shouts tore through the air. Women screamed. Men clutched their heads. Whispers spread like wildfire. Emmanuel's face darkened like thunder. He slammed his Bible on the pulpit and shouted back, "Lies! All lies! And you, woman, how dare you? Your husband, Deacon Adeyemi, slept with my wife. The child she carries is his. Besides," he sneered, "I can never have a child, nor root. How then are your daughters pregnant for me?" The congregation screamed louder. Men staggered in disbelief. Women wailed. The holy ground became a battlefield of accusations, truth and lies clashing before the eyes of God and man. As the church roared in chaos, Emmanuel's wife rose from her seat and walked forward. Her steps were slow, but her voice was steady and sharp. "Brethren, I will speak the truth today," she cried. She pointed at Emmanuel with trembling fingers. "This man you call pastor used my womb for his covenant with darkness. That is why I could never conceive for him. His miracles are not from God. They are from the devil." Tears rolled down her face as she touched her stomach. "They told me I could still give birth for another man. That is why I tested it with Deacon Adeyemi, and it was true. This child in me is not Emmanuel's. Everything you see in this church, the miracles, the signs, the wonders, are lies. They were bought with my womb and the blood of the innocent." The congregation exploded. Some fell on their knees weeping, others shouted curses. Women wailed loudly, men held their heads in shock. Emmanuel tried to defend himself. Lies, lies, she is deceiving you all. But the elders and strong men surged forward. Silence, fraud, they shouted. They tore the pastor's robes from his body. Chains were brought, and he was dragged through the streets as the congregation and villagers spat at him. The man who once commanded crowds was now disgraced, his name cursed forever. Deacon Adeyemi lived in regret. His blind loyalty destroyed his home. His daughters carried shame. His wife carried scandal, and his name carried sorrow. But Deacon Emeka's family, though once poor, prospered through hard work and faith. Their children rose to success, and their household was filled with peace. Both men had attended the same church. Both were ordained as deacons, but one served his pastor and forgot the importance of a personal walk with God, while the other worked hard, prayed faithfully, and trusted God directly. In the end, they each reaped their reward, one in disgrace, the other in honor.